Hello, everybody. It's tough tonight. I'm sorry, but it's very very hard. I'm Vittorio Campanile, as always. Alistair McKenzie joining me tonight. Hello, Alistair.
Hello.
I don't know. We are through, but this has been really really terrible, not acceptable from my point of view. Performance from Lazio.
Yeah, it's it's a strange place to be right now because it's my original kind of full-time emotion, I guess, is kind of like exactly the same. I mean, it basically is one of these blackouts without actually losing the game. But at the same time, we're through to the Champions League knockout stages in the first time in 20 years, and it feels pretty amazing as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an emotional cocktail going on here at the moment.
Well, let's start with a positive thing because one of our bigger follower just had a baby child. So a great congrats to Shaw McIntosh.
Yeah.
Really, really congrats. I think the name is going to be Leone, like Francesco Acerbi, I think. So Shaw, big congrats. I fear you didn't enjoy that much because Lazio performance was awful, but at least you had something to celebrate. So really, really congrats to you.
Imagine trying to stay quiet for the baby while that was happening. It must have been impossible.
Yeah. Oliver, guys, what do your heart rate monitors say at the moment? Let me check. I think I'm dead. But
my one's broken.
108. I have to even to apologize to my wife because we had a blackout during the match, and and she was saying what's going on, and I wasn't so polite, so I'll have to apologize with her. But you can understand, Lazio was drawing against Club Brugge. We were nearly out. I mean, they hit the post at the last second of the match. This is simply, and they were one man down. This is simply not acceptable, guys. Not acceptable.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. Let's talk about that. The game as a whole, not great. The first half, though, I thought Lazio were actually. But the one thing that they were spectacularly bad at tonight was clearly knowing how to play against. I mean, I tweeted at half-time, it's the perfect position to be in. To say that you're 2-1 up at half-time and the opposition have had a man sent off, you couldn't have written a better script for a position for Lazio to be in. So the second half performance, Vittorio, was just absolutely shocking. They're lucky to still be in the competition, which is saying something. But then again, I still believe it's no less than Lazio deserve, because that's probably the worst performance they've played in the Champions League this year, but they've still come out of the group stage unbeaten, and I think they do deserve to be in the knockout stages for the overall performance in the group stage.
Yes, I mean, Lazio was obviously a better team than Club Brugge, and we saw it even in the away match. I think Lazio played better in the away than at home, and the impression, Alistair, was that till we scored the first goal, Lazio was totally in control. I thought we started really, really well. I saw even there some stupid mistakes, but we scored. We were playing well, etc. I thought, well, maybe we're gonna be able to win this easily. And then Reina made a terrible mistake. And now, guys, if you still keep saying Reina is better than Strakosha, I think, I fear you don't understand a lot about football. And from there, it was a nightmare. I think Milinkovic Savic and Ciro Immobile were the only one who played at the normal level, and Ciro Immobile was great to get a penalty. I mean, they were down one man, and we weren't able to keep the ball. I thought, again, Luis Alberto had a terrible performance. And, I always praise Wesley Hood, but what did he do in the first half? That stupid yellow card could have been really costly for us. I don't know what he was doing.
I feel like, as well, that says a lot still about the fact that Inzaghi perhaps doesn't trust him as much as he should, because to bring him off at half-time, we know he likes to do that with any player on a yellow card, but I do wonder if he saw the cracks start to form in that game. I mean, there was that moment where he gave the ball away in midfield, not even in midfield actually, just with a pass out of defence, and that almost resulted in a second Bruges goal. So there were moments that Hook did good things tonight. I don't think he should be absolutely lambasted, but I honestly think it was almost like a team failing tonight, really, because other than Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, I don't think anyone particularly stood out as having a very good game. I thought Sergei was brilliant, but beyond that, I think that we needed, I don't know, more leaders on the field to take control of the situation. It just felt like we should be able to manage that position, to manage the position, having an extra man, of being dominant in periods in the first half as it was, of just, playing your game. Keep calm heads and play your game. It's supposed to be something we've got better at, but evidently not. Considering the ending, I couldn't watch the end of that game, honestly. I've got a very large whiskey with me now.
I think we have to say Hutt didn't play well, but I think Luis Felipe was awful. I think Luis Felipe was a disaster. And every time the camera went on his face, you could see that it looks like he was watching a horror film. He was so scared. You can see it, and made so many terrible mistakes, so many bad decisions. There is one where Simone Inzaghi is shouting to him because he's having a foul through, and instead of passing it forward because there's someone free, he's sending the ball backwards again. And simply, I can understand a lot of Lazio players don't have Champions League experience, but still, you're playing against Club Brugge. You're not allowed to be so afraid. And as you were saying, Milinkovic-Savic has no Champions League experience. He was the only one. I thought Milinkovic-Savic played for 5 players today because Luis Alberto was a ghost. Correa, after 20 minutes, pretty much disappeared. Marusic had so many chances. We wasted so many chances. We weren't tracked back. Even Acerbi made a couple of stupid mistakes. This is, it reminds me a lot about Lazio Inter, Alistair, to be honest with you. It reminds me about that. The team simply collapsing in the second half, simply afraid of everything. It looks like anything was possible. They couldn't do nothing.
Well, yeah. What's this next comment? And what were you guys thinking when they equalised after Chiro came up? You don't want to know. Yeah, I mean, it was set up to be already I felt bad about it, but I tweeted it just before that happened. This game is far from over, and this is going to be a horrible last 20 minutes. And then lo and behold, they almost immediately score as soon as I press send. So sorry about that.
So it's all your fault again, as usual.
Yeah, I wasn't there this time, so you don't have that to blame me with. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's, I guess you're once you've got the kind of, I suppose, the big men in Alberto and Ciro, you're kind of some of your most experienced, talented players coming off the pitch. You do start to wonder, but I didn't feel at the time like it was a terrible decision to make those changes to try and get a bit more, just something different, because it wasn't working. Alberto was completely swallowed up in that game. He was nowhere to be seen, really, and Ciro had just missed a big chance himself. I think Ciro wasn't terrible, but yeah, I mean, I think he had to change something, didn't he? It was only going one way, and yes, the goal came immediately after the subs, but I think he had to do something to try and
I totally agree, Alistair, but Correa was invisible. Why you don't take off Correa but Ciro Immobile? I mean, that's something I don't understand. Luis Alberto was awful. I mean, Ciro Immobile and Milinkovic-Savic were the only 2 players that was doing something. The only 2. Violi, even Acerbi was scared. And in the second half, we have to say something, Alistair. We were playing quite well in the second half. We had so many good chances that we missed. I think Marusic passed it to Mignolet, Milinkovic-Savic passed it to Mignolet, Correa in the middle of the box passed it to the goalkeeper. I mean, this match could have finished easily 4-1 for Lazio. They were so afraid. can we blame Inzaghi? Well, maybe, because I thought Ciro Immobile was the only one playing well, and he took him off. But I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong. Probably tomorrow morning I will be really happy to pass the group, but today I'm really concerned because it's not only the talent. You have to fight, and I thought this team stopped fighting after 20 minutes. And the other thing that we still didn't mention is that till the 71st minute, Lazio was top of the group. Not only we lost the chance to be first, and we arrived close like this to lose everything. But
yeah, and it's amazing how the matter of inches can change, the whole narrative, the whole reaction to this game. If that had gone in, we'll be talking about blackouts again. We'll be talking about Salzburg. We'll be talking about Inter. We're talking about all the stuff we were talking about 2 years ago. But because it's not, we're not necessarily going down that route again. I'm just concerned about the overall levels of performance. I think that recently that it's just not been a high enough standard. Zenit game was excellent, but the way Zenit have otherwise played in this group makes you wonder if how impressive an achievement that really was. I think that it's well, don't get me wrong, and it's a great achievement to get through this group. First of all, brilliant achievement. To do it unbeaten, incredible achievement. So I think any criticism has to be laced with the acknowledgement of that being more than we expected.
Yes and no. By the way, penalty for Juventus, Cristiano Ronaldo, he scored 1-0 against Barcelona. Marciev, thanks God, no Patrick today. I thought, Patrick is the type of player who is not scared. I think Patrick today would have been the only one trying to fight, maybe making 250 mistakes, but he would have give everything. I'm pretty. You can say everything about Patrick except he's a fighter. He's maybe not good, but he's a fighter. Saying about that, Alazer, what pissed me off is that they ruined me everything, because now I would be celebrating. Yeah, we win we passed the group, etc. We played so badly that you ruined me everything. Because the thing is, we played badly in Serie A. We said, yeah, but in Champions League this team plays better. They focus, etc. No, today they didn't. And you can see that they was scared, completely scared. Yeah, happy that we went through, but if we play like this, we won't be celebrating a lot of things this year. And
I think you need your anger to dissipate before you feel the happiness, and I think your anger is still overwhelming you.
Yeah, and Stefan Scarpula say, why is Alberto miserable strunz whenever he comes off? I thought Alberto played rubbish, and I thought he should have apologized when coming off, because again, another terrible performance. Today without Milinkovic Savic, Lazio would have lost. So
how good, by the way, I know it was there was a foul, but how good was his goal line clearance? That was unbelievable.
Yeah, and again a terrible thing from Reina. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm seeing everything wrong, but I'm
desperately trying to start to make this a bit more positive, but you're not happening.
Maybe tomorrow we can do another one tomorrow.
Yeah, but who else was ready for the blackout? Well,
I wasn't.
I think the points that Inzaghi made before this game were correct, which is that when it's come to the big games, when it's come to the finals, more recently, Lazio have performed well. The blackout season, the blackouts that kind of characterized and haunted this team for so long, came over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. So we can't do that, just drag on forever and ever. I don't think this out, because what happened in those matches was that there was a really confined period within the game of, say, 10-15 minutes where Lazio just collapsed. They just stopped playing entirely. Today was just a really bad performance. It's a different kind of thing. I For me, I characterize a blackout as the team completely switching off and throwing away the game in, say, 10, 15 minutes. That didn't happen today. It was just Lazio's performance was, not up to the levels we've expected. It was concerning. But I do want to question a little bit the attitude of the players, because we talked in the build-up to this game about the fact that they managed to get a result with hardly any players available in Belgium. Whether that can play on their mind, whether they're going to suffer from overconfidence a bit too much, and I didn't think that was going to happen this much. But then once they were up and Bruges were down to 10 men, I think that did happen a bit. I think they probably did relax. I relaxed a bit, but I'm a fan, so it's allowed.
Old school, you really were lucky tonight. I know Bruges didn't have many chances, but neither had Lazio. The shot against the bar would have gone in 99% of the time. Still, good luck in your next matches. Thanks, old school Club Bruges fan. I thought he was right. I mean, when I saw the ball hitting the post, I thought it was going in anyway. So I was really, really concerned. I think Lazio had a lot of chances, but waste them badly. I mean, Mignolet didn't do any great save, but Lazio shot on target, I think 4 times in the second half from good field position. That should have been more dangerous. Said this, in the last 20 minutes, it was pretty much only Club Bruges, and that's where I'm concerned. So I really don't understand how a team that should be. Remember, Lazio squad is not very young. I mean, Acerbi is over 30, Radu, Leiva, etc. They should have experience, and experience means that you are able to control, to manage this situation. They absolutely didn't. So I was concerned. Patrick Bowman saying this was an embarrassing performance. I have to agree. I mean, if we take off Milinkovic Savic and Ciro Immobile, the other didn't play at the level we were expecting. Yes, Ciro Immobile said, this is like we won a final. We are finally through the group stage. Last time was 20 years ago. But, and you're right, Alistair, this wasn't an easy group, but we said it at the beginning when the draw was made. This is a group Lazio can pass. And we said it. Maybe we didn't expect Zenit to perform so bad, and maybe we didn't expect Club Brugge to perform like that. But we all had the impression that Lazio could have finished behind Borussia Dortmund. So it's not that Lazio did something unbelievable. And seeing this match tonight, yeah, I think Lazio should have won today.
I would probably only say that
Vittorio's 100%, 110%.
Come on, he doesn't need his ego boosted like that. Yeah, I'd say it's an embarrassing second half. I don't think the first half was embarrassing by any means. I think they actually performed relatively well in the first half. Executed the game plan. The goal that Bruges got was completely against the run of play. It was down to an individual error. Yes, individual errors are part of a bad performance, but I don't think it was a result of the whole team completely folding in the way that they did in the second half. I do think it's embarrassing to play that badly and be under pressure against 10 men when you're at home. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think we should forget the first half. Oh, look, a nice message for me.
You see? We have Søren from on our Facebook page. Lazio classic. What's supposed to be easy ends up making me 10 years older in a few minutes. Yeah, that's exactly what Lazio typical usually do. Right, Alistair? I mean, this should have been an easy match. Not so easy. It's still Champions League, and Club Brugge won the Belgium title last year. But, you know, 1 man down, 2-1, you should finish the match, and Juve just scored 2 goals, you see? Juve is beating Barcelona, and we struggle against Club Brugge.
Yeah, but Juve struggle against Ferencváros, so, you know, take it week by week. Yeah, look, I think that it's job done. I mean, yeah, like I saw you got rid of the positive comment, but he said, "Congratulations, everyone." And I think it's worth saying that, yes, this is a disappointing performance, but we also have to look at this moment as being a way of reviewing the group stage as a whole, and it has been good. This is where the best performance of the season for Lazio have come. Yes, tonight wasn't one of them. Yes, Lazio risked going out the last kick of the game, but at the same time, they've come through unbeaten from a challenging group, and at a time when they've lost a lot of players to injury and COVID. So it's a hell of a result. We've only been in the knockout stages, the Champions League, once, and that was 21 years ago. So let's make absolutely no mistake of how big an achievement this is. It's superb.
I'm not sure we only did it once. I think we did it more time. We reached the quarterfinals.
Once in Champions League era, and that was when we got to the quarterfinals. There was one time we got to the second stage, but that was a second group stage when they decided to change the format, and it was stupid.
Okay.
Other than that, just once.
Okay, so Inzaghi has spoke and said, well, we passed the group with good merit. We had a lot of problems. Tonight we did a great match. Okay, good for you. At the end of the first half, some players weren't in good condition, but I asked them a sacrifice. I'm sorry that we weren't able to live this performance with our fans here. Tonight it would have been spectacular with them. We have big character, players with huge quality. Wait a minute, what does this mean? Okay, we have big players like Lazio that went through the Champions League 19 years ago. For me, this night is like we won a trophy. It can happen that one man up and you can struggle, especially in the Champions League against a good team like Bruges. We struggle too much. We should do an analysis of the last 10 minutes, what happened. Honestly, we should have struggled less, but these players give everything, and I'm happy from them. Now we have to focus on the Serie A. Saturday we have a very important match against Verona, but now it's right to celebrate this performance and the fact that we passed the group stage. So this was Inzaghi, Alistair. I don't agree with a lot of what he said, but yeah, we have to celebrate for what happened tonight. Even though, I mean, when are we going to be able to win 4-1? And and relax.
Well, exactly, and this is the thing. Look, it's not perfect. Of course, it's not. But think about it. We don't know when or if this is going to happen again for another 20 years. So I don't know if I want to spend, when someone asks me when I'm in my 60s, where were you the night the Lazio reached the last 16? As I was complaining about Patrick. I'm quite enjoying this, really. Now that it's the enormity of it is sinking in. I think it's important to take a look at the big picture. I think he's right. It is like winning a trophy for Lazio. We've talked about the fact that this is the next stage. Reaching the top four was the next stage, and then getting back in the Champions League was the next stage. For me, we've kind of moved a step ahead in terms of the progress of this team. I didn't expect when we qualified for the Champions League that we'd be able to get to knockout stages, if I'm totally honest. Once I found out we were in pot 3, I thought, I doubt we'll get through, but it's going to be nice to be there.
Okay, by the way, sorry if I disturb you, but something huge is happening in Paris. The Paris Saint-Germain is retiring. I don't know why. It looks like... no, the other team is leaving the pitch. I don't understand for which reason. Now I'm going to look on Twitter. But yeah, they're leaving the pitch. My son is saying that the fourth referee said something racist to one of the players, and so they're leaving.
Referee.
The fourth, the one.
Fourth official.
Yeah.
Oh, for God!
I cannot believe it.
That is ludicrous.
Yeah. But well, Massey, come on, guys! It's time to celebrate. Yeah, we have to celebrate. Yeah, we struggled. But we have to do.
Cheers.
The most important thing, Alistair, is now seeing what the other teams will do, the other Italian teams will do, because obviously if Inter and Atalanta don't go through, this will mean that Lazio will get more money. and we know how money is important for us. So we have to think. We have to see what happens for the other teams. Being a Lazio fan will never be easy. 26 years of agony have taught me that. Non mollare mai, absolutely. And it's not 26, it's 46 for me. So I was there when Lazio was in Serie B. I remember my dad bringing me to Piazza del Popolo. Piazza del Popolo completely packed. I don't know if you have ever been to Rome and know what Piazza del Popolo is. And it was full of Lazio fans. And I thought, wow, we won the Scudetto. And I said to my dad, hey, I was like 6, 7. I said, Dad, we won the Scudetto. No, son, we just got promoted in Serie A. And this was,
I thought you were going to say, no, we just got a 1-1 draw with Foggia. Yeah, no, and look, it's worth saying as well, look, this is why we quite enjoy doing these live shows after full time, is because everyone does react differently to these matches, and this is when you're most emotional, so it is quite interesting to see. Vittorio's already softening, he seems a bit happier now. But we do have some people who are angry, some people who are celebrating, some people are furious. That's just the way football fans react to these kind of things. But at least the overall outcome is good. Thank you for the crossbar. Man of the match.
Levan, your fam, saying, do you think we can pass anyone in the next round?
Of course. Why not? I mean, look, Dortmund are the best team in our group, and we got a win and a draw against them. I don't think that the standard of group winners is so good that it's going to be impossible. We're obviously going to have to wait and see how the groups end up. But if you look through them at the moment, for example, you've got Borussia Mönchengladbach as one of the group winners. You've got RB Leipzig as one of the group winners. I think we'd happily give one of them a crack.
Yep.
I'd also, well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anything is absolutely impossible. Having said that, obviously there are some ridiculously talented teams there too, so it's going to be quite a scary draw.
Stefan Scarpulla, Patreon special, Patrick 250 mistakes. Oh, come on. By the way, Alistair
wasn't even playing tonight, and he's getting criticized by everyone.
And people still complaining about Patrick. By the way, Alistair, at the 14th red card, our assistant coach, Pierre Wibo, has been sent off with a racist word by the fourth official of the match. Match has been stopped for a while, say Istanbul Besek. So this is what happened, why the club Istanbul left the field in Paris.
That is absolutely disgraceful. Why? Well, I mean, I don't know what that means in that group as well. Is that maybe why Leipzig are top of that group? I just saw the live standings, but Jesus, I mean, come on, honestly. Right, we're not here to talk about PSG though. More talk about Armeni's reaction to the final whistle.
I didn't see it.
Less miserable. That's an instruction. I haven't seen that either. Maybe they didn't show it on Sky, or I wasn't looking up when they did.
I don't know. But yeah, I can understand that he must have been happy. One thing really important, Alistair. Adrian, I think Lazzari was affected but barely used. I had the same impression. We noticed immediately that Lazzari could have been a threat, and he did in the first half. And then in the second half, suddenly we stopped pushing on that side. Don't know why.
I don't think I've ever seen. Well, maybe that's a bit exaggeration. But I can't remember seeing like a wing back get the better of his opposite man as much as Lazzari did against the Bruges left back tonight. I think that from the first moment in that game, I think it was 2 minutes in or something, Lazzari just gets the ball, knocks it forward, and he's past him, and he has to pull him down. Yellow card, 2 minutes in. It was absolutely disgraceful that he wasn't sent off for that tackle. that was one of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen for a long time. So, but then what's even more disgraceful is that, 3 minutes later or something, he goes and does an even worse foul on Lazio, all three on Lazio.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that the manager was already preparing the substitution, so he didn't have time to stop him. That's it's like you lose completely control of your mind, because you should be aware, right? I'm already in a yellow card. I'm struggling to keep Lazzari, and then I do this stupid mistake, and yeah, it was really really silly. But by the way, Manchester United is losing 3-0 against Lipsia. So,
Wow.
Are they top of the group now? I think so, right?
Leipzig are at the moment, yeah.
That could be an interesting team.
Well, I guess that depends what happens with the PSG Istanbul result, though. What they do with that, if they've walked off. Someone's going to have to win that game. But, I mean, Juventus will be one of the group winners if they can get one more goal. If they beat Barca by 3 goals tonight, they win the group. I'd take Juventus like that in the last...
But
it wouldn't be very interesting. Can you not? I thought once I got to the knockout stages, no,
not yet. I think from the quarterfinals, something like that.
Right, okay. But yeah, I mean, look, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, it's. I would hazard a guess that most people find this more exciting than the draw for the last 32 of the Europa League. You know, whether we're going to play Zurich or Krasnodar or Ludogorets or whoever it is.
Christopher Thomas, hi guys, humor me here, but maybe we can look at this as the worst performance out of the way, so we're going to breeze through the last 16. We hope so, because honestly, Lazio in the Champions League always played very well. I thought today they were really, really scared to lose it, because they know they had, everything to lose, because nobody could expect Lazio to lose like that, especially one man down. So I hope it's that. It's even true that we didn't talk about Inzaghi's word. He said that after the first half, some of the players were struggling. So I can imagine Correa was one of them, because in the second half, he pretty much didn't play. Maybe even Ciro Immobile, because he was subbed, and I thought he was playing well. So maybe he had some problems. So yeah, but Alistair, this is a problem that Lazio face every single match. Every single match, Inzaghi says, well, we had that player injured, that player wasn't feeling well, that player struggled to finish the match, etc. Is there something wrong with a fitness coach, or our players are not fit to play twice a week, or what is it?
It's a lot of games, that's what it is. And on top of it...
Why Juventus is not in this position? Why Inter is not in this position? Why Lazio is always, every single week, in this position?
Well, I mean, I personally think tonight, for example, it's probably because there wasn't enough of a rotation for the Spezia game. And that's particularly frustrating, I think, when you consider that Lazio played so badly against Spezia, despite having a full-strength team. I think you can kind of get away with the whole you've had a bad performance but got a good result if you're resting players and the rest of it. But Lazio weren't really doing that so much. So, I mean, Milinkovic-Savic again, I just have to say, at the end of that match, when Lazio finally started to relieve the pressure a little bit, there was a cross went to the right-hand side of the pitch, and there he was. And you could just see how tired he was. He was kind of galloping up, desperate to get there. And it's one of the biggest kind of leadership performances I think I've seen him put in, because I think he was one of the only ones who kind of recognized where we were and what we needed to do. And it's quite interesting, because I think he not put up a post on his Instagram before the game being like, it was something to do with this. It was Bart Simpson writing on a chalkboard, "This is not Inter, this is not Salzburg."
He did it. I didn't know. I saw it, but I didn't know it.
I think he reposted it or something like that. I might be wrong about that, but I saw something about that. So I was wondering if he's posted about that, then he kind of has to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. By the way, Andrew, thankfully no Patrick today. Probably would have given away a penalty in the 19th minutes. Again, poor Patrick. I mean,
He's the most mentioned player tonight, despite not being in the squad.
definitely. Darren, do you think Inzaghi got it wrong tactically when we were leading 2-1 and a man up? I don't think so. I don't think it was a tactical problem. I simply believe, for I don't know which reason, players got scared to keep playing football, because I thought that in the first 10 minutes, Lazio played football and dominated the match. We went 1 man up, 1 goal up after 11 minutes, and we seemed in control. And from there was all downhill. So I don't think it was the tactic wrong. I think simply players didn't perform like they did. Now, Inzaghi is saying that someone weren't fit enough to play. This obviously would have created some problem to Simone Inzaghi. But I don't know. Even because Saturday there's Verona, another very good team. So, I mean, Lazio have to step up, because if they play like this against Verona, we're going to lose.
Yeah, Verona, good team as well. Yeah, I mean, I think perhaps he was guilty in showing a bit too much respect to them. I saw quite a lot of criticism about the defence wanting to play out from the back. I don't think that merits as much criticism as it got, because actually, when they're down 10 men and they're pushing for a goal and they're pushing players forward, it's not the worst idea to bring the pressure onto you. If you're confident enough and composed enough and you can play through that press, then all of a sudden you've got a hell of a lot of space. And, you know, that chance that Lazio created from when Immobile was one-on-one basically and ballooned it over, Lazio did have some good chances tonight and failed to take. It's worth not forgetting that, just because of the way the game ended. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was necessarily a tactical flop from Inzaghi so much as the players just starting to panic. You know, I think it's that simple. They just looked like they were too nervous. There's a lot of that kind of bad decision making.
And one of the secrets of Lazio is playing from behind. We said one of the quality of Hurt is that even Acerbi likes when he's on the left side to push, etc. Reina, we said he's very good with his feet. Today he has been awful even with his feet. So that created a problem. I thought that the defender were feeling the pressure and so was kicking the ball wide. And so, yeah, I don't think it's a tactical problem. It's simply how they perform. So, yeah, again, I don't see... The only thing I would blame Inzaghi is the substitution of Ciro Immobile. But maybe if Ciro was injured or had problems, then that's explained things. Per Nielsen saying, with fans in the stadium, anything can happen in the last 16. Yes, especially if with the Stadio Olimpico packed. I mean, our fans are amazing. So I think they can really make a big impact for Lazio.
It's true, although it has to be said, I'd be amazed if there are fans in the stadium for the last 16. Because the first games will be in February. There's absolutely no sign yet of fans being let back into stadiums here.
Well, you don't know. In England, there are. I mean, with the vaccine coming.
Yeah, but I mean, Italy's going to take longer to get the vaccine rolled out anyway. And on top of that, they've not given us any indication that Italian stadiums will reopen again. Certainly not to be full. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be a full Olimpico. No way.
Well, full no, and they won't let you in again as usual, so you won't be there. But I have some chances, so I will fight for it. One of the things I'm really upset of is that Lazio's back in the Champions League and I'm not able to go. So that's the most frustrating thing. Adrian, my 50-plus years old dad was about to kill Inzaghi. He was very mad about the lack of urgency with the changes. Didn't understand why we run more than an extra man and didn't have majority of ball possession. Because we made too many mistakes, I would say. The player that moved the ball usually is Luis Alberto, and he was terrible tonight. So that's why Lazio struggled. I think Milinkovic-Savic had to do, two jobs at one: his job and Luis Alberto's one. So
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think you do need you do need to be clever in keeping possession in those moments, but it wasn't something Bruges were going to allow us to do. It's pointless to say, oh, we should have been just playing keep ball, because the reason we weren't playing keep ball was because they were pressing so high up the pitch that it was impossible to do that, apart from between the defenders and the goalkeeper. And then a lot of people are complaining about us playing it around the defenders and the goalkeeper. So Bruges were, to their credit, a lot better than I expected them to be tonight. And I think that they played really well, really cleverly with 10 men. Mignolet was playing basically as an extra defender in that match for half the time, basically halfway up his own half. And so they were pressing so high up the pitch. And that's for me what Lazio did badly tonight. Isn't that they were unable to keep the ball because Bruges weren't going to let them do that. It was that they weren't taking advantage of the spaces that Bruges were actually leaving in behind their own defence. And all that really takes is a good run and a good ball over the top, or two or three neat passes in exchange. And I just think that they lost their heads a bit and were unable to do that.
I mean, Alistair, let's be honest. That's the best chance for Lazio. We have two very fast strikers, Ciro Immobile and Correa. We have a couple of players, Luis Alberto in particular, that are very good in finding the players behind the defense. This should have been gold for Lazio, right? In this circumstance, with the defense very high, Ciro Immobile should have scored 155 goals tonight in the second half. And, I don't remember a chance like that. So this tells you that we played badly because we had. I mean, that's the dream, right? For Inzaghi, having a defense playing very high with Ciro Immobile and Correa in your team. That's where they shine. And instead, they were awful because we were scared to play. So, yeah. Again, let's think about celebrating the Champions League. We're through. Second, unfortunately, we had the chance to arrive first, but obviously COVID-19 obviously created a problem to Lazio. But yeah, at least we are through. And Saturday now we have a big match against Verona, and let's see who we will be able to recover, because now I'm struggling. Now I'm concerned that some players won't be fit for Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this has always been the challenge, but at least now, the group stage is done now. So we've got up until February, got a couple of months to really just focus on improving that league form, improving performances in the domestic games, maybe being able to actually have a bit more rest for some of these players, because it's finally not going to be. Actually, no, it still is going to be every 3 days up until Christmas. But after, at least there's a bit of a winter break. So I think there's 4 games now up until Christmas in Serie A, which is still pretty intense. But yeah, it's going to be really important to get wins from games like Verona on Saturday and then Benevento straight after that. And again, I think that it's going to be up to effectively rotating that squad and keeping everyone fresh and motivated. Hopefully they don't have too many beers tonight to celebrate their achievement.
Yeah, even because there's Verona Saturday and it's a very difficult match. And Lazio have to win. Lazio has to win. So they have to focus. Adrian, who would you want to play in the next round? I don't know. I didn't think about it. So
I was just going to say, I think we should probably wait and see who we can play in the next round, and then we'll do a more in-depth discussion about that once we know, because there's no point in looking at the groups as they stand now, because we've still got kind of 7 of the 8 groups yet to be decided. So that's a bit of a disappointing answer, but
well, we can do a podcast about it when we see who will qualify, etc. in the meantime, I think we can wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you are more relaxed now. Yeah, the nerve of the match has a little bit calm. And yeah, we're gonna talk again this weekend after Lazio Verona, another very important match. But let's finish remembering after 19 years, Lazio went through the group stage. We arrived second after a draw against Bruges. We didn't lose a match. This is another very important thing. We played against Borussia Dortmund, Zenit, Club Brugge without losing a match. So yeah, let's celebrate. Let's finish on a high tone, Alistair.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I can only apologize if we're a bit too down to begin the show, but then again, that's why we're doing it. The immediate emotional reaction, and it wasn't a good performance tonight. But yeah, listen, it's really exciting. It's really exciting to be here and to be involved in this. So yeah, can't wait. Counting down the days until the last 16 now. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Good night, guys. Good night to everybody for Lazio. And remember, if you want to support us, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. If you want to subscribe to our podcast, you can find us on Spreaker, spreakers.com/user/Lazio Lounge, on iTunes, on Spotify, whenever you want. And thank you again. And we're going to talk after Lazio Verona. Good night, Alistair.